How did it happen?
One of the oldest photo festivals in Italy. And one fine day I get a call saying that I'm the curator of this photo festival and we are looking for a specific kind of photography and we are choosing photographers from around the world. So would you be interested? I initially thought it was a prank call. The world for me changed at that point of time because suddenly I felt that I am an observer in my own reality. हम यही बोलते हैं कि आपको जो करना है आप करो. आप सोचो मत.
हम capture कर लेंगे.
हाँ.
Tell us what you want.
Correct.
Leave it to the
to us,
experts.
yeah.
You hired experts.
And the people who have the best experience in their own weddings, they do that.
Yeah. What was your favorite moment of Farhan and Shivani's wedding?
Once you prepare everything, then you should just let life take over. Because
I agree. The working of the industry is something we wanted people to hear.
Trust is always something that is built over time. That is what we try to do in our couple.
How do Sam and Ekta divide their work?
That it's okay to not have everything, you know.
I love
Some
that,
emptiness
Sam.
in life is amazing. It's fine. Imperfections are great. I love that. Yeah.
I really love that. Hello and welcome to the Wedding Podcast. Here we are with one more episode, and this one's going to be extremely interesting because I am super excited. I'll tell you why. One is because this topic is something I really cherish. Weddings are what? Eventually, we have to convert them into memories. And how do we do that? We take the photos, videos, and that's what stays with us all our life. So that's the topic, to give you a hint. And secondly, I'm super excited because the guests today are my personal favorites. I love them. They are friends. They are very dear to me. I'm a big fan of their talent and what they've done in this industry. And they are the real life power couple like the band Baja Bharat couple. And they are Sam and Ekta. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Hi.
That's a beautiful introduction.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Powerhouse has to have a powerhouse introduction.
You're a lovely. That was a lovely introduction. Honestly, thank you so much.
But
And
you guys know y'all have truly been very special to me.
Yes.
I've done some of my most beautiful work with you guys.
Yes.
It
And the
works
feeling
and
is
goes both ways,
mutual.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're also very special to us. And we've also done our best work with you. So thank you.
You know, it's interesting how this whole journey over the years, we don't realize for so many years we've known each other. And if you look back in time, the kind of trajectory of work you all have done post that, is amazing. I mean, the body of work, when I look and when I go through your page, each one looks so different, so interesting. How did this all start? I really want you all to tell your story that how did Sam and Ekta become a brand? How did firstly you all come together? I know there's a love story angle, but we want to hear it all.
So, do you want to hear the fun version?
Absolutely.
So then that's your person.
Come on.
So I'm originally from Delhi and Sam is from Pune, and we both came to Bombay to do our MBA and we met at our B school. Sam was my senior, and one day I saw him singing in a band on the stage of our freshers, and that's when I fell in love with Sam.
Oh,
Fell in love and all. Yes.
fell in love, like
I
love
have
at
to add
first
little
sight.
drama I have to add. And that's when
Did he see you while singing, or he had not noticed you by then?
No, he had not noticed me. It was a one-sided love affair, and that's how we just like.
Let me correct her. It's not like I hadn't noticed her then, because the B school that we are in, what usually happens is when the incoming batch is due to arrive, we've kind of profiled them because there's something fun that we do for them,
True.
for the freshers and everything. So obviously we knew that there's this girl called Ekta Rekhi who's coming in from Delhi, and at that point of time I thought this is way out of my league. There's no chance. So I knew who she was, but I had never expected that we would come down this route. But yeah, you could.
And then I sent signals to him, and then we became friends, and that's how we eventually started dating. And photography just happened.
How did it happen?
Yeah.
So I just want to just add one small point there. I think throughout our lives, we've always been very creatively inclined people.
Yeah.
But when we started working, now you can't really get into a group dynamic. I
Yeah.
still try to continue theatre and everything, but it was very difficult. So that's when photography came into my life, because it became an individual pursuit for me, which helped me make sense of the world. Because I still remember the first time I picked up the camera and looked through the viewfinder, the world for me changed at that point of time, because suddenly I felt that I am an observer in my own reality.
Oh wow,
Like,
that's
I'm-
I don't think ever somebody's described photography that well. Yeah, that's your poetic side,
Gift of the gab.
Sam. Very clearly, you're an artist.
Yeah,
He is.
it took me a long time to accept that, because I come from a family where my parents are teachers, so the stress was always on academics, and
Yeah.
you get into this life of the conventional career, and it took me a really long time to accept the fact that okay, there is an artist in me.
Yeah.
But it started with photography. So, and when I pick up something, I get completely consumed by it. So there were family holidays where we used to go, where everybody used to go in one direction and I'm going in another with my camera.
And his tripod and his like so many lenses all lugged on him.
Yeah, so I used to just talk about it non-stop. And somehow, because I used to talk about it non-stop
Yeah.
with Ekta, she started learning it through my speaking of it.
Oh
So
wow.
Sam is my teacher, first teacher for photography.
So that's
My
how
first love, my first teacher.
first love, what?
Yeah, too much influence.
I'm first, okay. Mommy, my first.
So,
time.
but then did you like professionally learn photography? Any of y'all at any point?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. Then we did a lot of courses together, and then we fell in love with street photography. And one of our mentors for street photography is his name is Vineet Vora. So we learned from him, and those workshops were just amazing. And then we kept falling in love with that kind of photography. And street photography is also what we practice in weddings now, which is a moment is going to happen once, and you have to be at the right place at the right
Is
time
it
to
also
capture
called
it.
the candid photography? Is that different from?
It is similar. It's in a similar space, but street photography is broadly about the ability to see a frame which will never repeat itself again in time. So it's about things that are the world around us is moving all the time. And if you're able to, even in this situation, if you're able to put a camera and capture a very, very unique moment, that is street photography. Very often it's mistaken for photography that's only done on the streets.
Okay.
But it is a discipline, it is a way
Okay.
of thinking. Now, when we learned that, and thanks to digital media, we could learn that outside of going to a university and learning photography.
Yeah.
So we learned that we started at that point of time. A lot of our friends and family were getting married, so we would go to these weddings, carry our cameras just purely to pursue the art form.
We were just carrying our cameras everywhere
Yeah.
from that point.
And that is where it all began, because then we started realizing that there's such a joy in capturing these moments. And then people started asking us whether we would like to do this professionally, though we were very averse to that, because we always felt that if you love something a lot, and then if you try making it a revenue building activity, you might somewhere compromise your principles for the art form.
Or lose the
So-
love.
So
for
that
it.
must be a big decision when you're
Yes.
decided
It
to
was.
full time get into this and make it your life, work, and business.
It was.
Yes.
It
So
was.
for the first year, we actually did it alongside our jobs, because we were so unsure of whether we don't want to fall out of love, out of this whole passion that we have. We don't want to lose it. So we actually did it alongside our job to see whether it's the right fit or not. And that's when we took a call that
Yeah,
okay,
so it
now
was
we are
6
having fun.
couples. We basically told these couples that, listen, we have no idea what we are doing, but we are going to approach your wedding with a childlike curiosity. We'll be there. We'll ride the wave and the flow of the emotions in a wedding with you. And these couples said, okay, we'd love to have you. And that is when we decided, we set a few principles that we'll shoot one wedding at a time. We both will be there at the wedding. We'll take a personal interest. We'll feel like we are friends with our couples.
We'll
and
get to know our couples before. We'll get to know
that's
their story.
that's one of my questions, that there are very few photo video teams or I would say artists who I've worked with who take that kind of an interest to meet the couple, build a bond, exchange stories, so much of time investment before, because for everybody else it's a business.
Yeah.
So I get a call. We refer them to probably a few photo video teams. The teams get a call. They first block in the date. They just say, look at our Insta page. We'll send you the profile, and you're locked in. But I know with y'all, because I've worked on a few occasions, you mention that you're available, but you'd like to first meet the couple or at least connect with them over a Zoom call or over a call. Now, this is a very, very important aspect, I feel, for a photo video team to do. And you all do it so beautifully well. So, give us some understanding why you do this and what's your experience been while you do this, you know?
Should I?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think that there are various ways of running a business, and I feel everybody succeeds if the method that they choose is true to who they are, and this is just true to who we are. I have done enough of reading, and based on my own experiences in life, I think that a true human connection is only formed when you mutually share pain with each other. You can share joy, which is great, which is a great
Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
and that will always be surface level. But when you rather than pain, I would say vulnerability. When you're able to be vulnerable with a person,
Correct.
and you feel that mutually, and it's a give and
No
take
guards,
relationship.
and you know,
Safe space.
you're just like in a good space to have a very open and good conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is where absolute trust comes from.
Yeah.
And that is what we want to trust our couples as much as our couples trust us. We want to be there in that moment with them, because a wedding is one of the most important
Most important, for
memories
sure.
of your life. People who have played a huge role in your life are all in the same place at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Unless there's a complete trust with the people who are providing the service at your wedding, including you. I know that you follow the same process as well.
Yeah.
The ecosystem around a wedding, if it is made of people who you trust and you are okay being vulnerable with, from the point of view of the couple I'm
Yeah,
speaking.
they become your family till
Yes.
that journey is over, you know?
Exactly.
Yes.
And you have been with them in the most important moments, like whether it was
Moments, yeah.
vulnerable, it was joy, it was happiness, it was like some kind of bittersweet sorrow during those days. So it is important to know them, like, and for them also to know us. Like, you can't just have anybody around
Yeah.
you in those important days. So we just follow it from that point of view. And also because our work is more documentary and it's more moment based, so when we know the people, we can anticipate the moments better.
Yeah.
We can anticipate what they like, what they are looking forward to the most, who is that person who they are going to meet after like 10 years or 5 years. So we are waiting for those moments to play out. However it will play out, we don't know, but we anticipate it in our head that this is going to happen,
Yeah.
so that we can be in the right position to capture it.
Do you think couples take suggestions when they interact with you before the wedding on what wardrobe should they wear, or things like these are discussed? Or do you even venture into suggesting, or you just let them be and take their own decisions? And, I'm talking in terms of especially the colors, because I think
Yeah.
that's a very important aspect, and you understand it really well.
Yeah.
What looks good with what, and what looks good on whom. So do you ever venture giving recommendations when you meet them prior, or is it something where you do not want to venture into that space, and you'll yet make it beautiful?
So yes, people ask us many questions because we end up being friends with
Yeah,
them. So from
yeah.
a friend's point of view, they'll ask us, "Oh, what do you think of this? And should we do this? And should we do this kind of thing for our entrance?" So things like many different
Yeah,
topics,
yeah.
and we answer it from a point of view of a friend. Not from a point of view of, oh, you have to wear this color, or
Yeah.
this can only look nice, or if like nothing like that. Everybody has their aesthetic choice,
Absolutely.
and there are actually so many professionals working on a wedding to help them guide
Yeah.
them through all of this. Like maybe they are decor specialists, they are stylists, they are makeup artists. They of course know better than
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
But in the how can everything fit together, and how can it look nice in a photograph, if from that point of view we have to tell them something, we will. But we'll never tell anybody to change the color of their bridal outfit.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
like never, because it's very emotional garment, you know,
And
like
it's a decision people probably dream of it much
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
actually make it happen.
Yeah, like
you know?
little bit on the aesthetics we'll tell, like, you know,
Yeah.
so if you're sitting in a mandap, if something is coming out of your popping out of your head or something like that, we actually only if someone will ask, we'll tell these small aesthetic points,
Yeah.
but nothing related to what they really want to do and we want to change.
या इट्स मोस्टली हम यही बोलते हैं कि आपको जो करना है आप करो, आप सोचो मत.
हम कैप्चर कर लेंगे.
हाँ, आप अगर फोटो वीडियो के बारे में सोचना शुरू करोगे तो आप उस मोमेंट का मेमोरी नहीं बना पाओगे. You live the moment as it is happening,
Yeah.
and the photo and video is always an outcome of it.
Yeah, in the purest form you live it, and then photos and videos will happen. Don't do it for the photo.
So, you know, y'all, when I met y'all, the concept of candid photography, you know, which wasn't that popular, I'm talking, you know, a few years ago, it was all about very traditional photography, videography, portraits, and, you know, taking specific shots in a certain way. But the culture of candid, very much, at least I got introduced to it by seeing your work. And, you know, that's when I decided, I said, let us have you all to do a few weddings. And those candid moments, the way you capture, and I know they are not easy to capture because I've seen you all at work. And, you know, Ekta to goes like, I don't know from where all with, she's so little that she'll find her way through anyhow with her camera and make sure she's clicking those pictures at any cost, whether she's stumbling over the stage or, you know, I've seen her like always that. And Sam, I've seen you also with your height. Thankfully,
Yeah.
you managed to capture a lot. So tell me the process of candid and how is candid different from the traditional photography?
Okay, you want to go? Should I
You.
start? Okay.
I love the way you guys are coordinated. You go.
नहीं, मेरा थियोरी होता है थोड़ा, मेरा थोड़ा ज्ञान और थियोरी होता है. Then Ekta will bring the fun in it. But it's a very very interesting question.
Yeah.
If we just take एक स्टेप थोड़ा सा पीछे ले लेते हैं कि ये फोटोग्राफी, वेडिंग फोटोग्राफी आया कहाँ से और कौन करता था. तो फोटोग्राफी अगर आप मीडियम देखो तो फिल्म रोल्स होते थे. अब एक रोल में 36 क्लिक्स है आपके पास और रोल महंगा होता है.
हाँ.
आप रोल जितने आप क्लिक करोगे उतना आपको डेवलप करना पड़ेगा. तो इसलिए जो पुराने फोटोग्राफर्स होते थे वो ज़्यादा क्लिक नहीं कर सकते थे क्योंकि वो रोल्स ही आप उतने ही रोल्स आप कैरी कर सकते हो. करेक्ट. अब वहाँ से शिफ्ट हो गया डिजिटल में.
हाँ.
अब डिजिटल आपके पास आ गया है तो आप बहुत सारा क्लिक कर सकते हो. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम इन शूटिंग एट ऑल. लेकिन डिजिटल में फिर एक प्रॉब्लम होता है कलिंग का, क्योंकि आप इतना ज़्यादा क्लिक कर रहे हो तो आपको वो फोटो सिलेक्ट भी तो करनी है. तो दैट इज़ अनदर प्रॉब्लम. नाउ अब कैंडिड की अगर आप बात करोगे तो कैंडिड फोटोग्राफी वेरी सिंपली इज फोटोग्राफी विच इज़ जो आप इन द मोमेंट ले रहे हो.
हाँ.
जो स्ट्रीट फोटोग्राफी होता है,
करेक्ट.
उसमें आप और कुछ नहीं सोच रहे. जो मोमेंट्स आपके सामने हो रहे हैं आप अपना फोटोग्राफी का कॉम्पोजिशन का जो ज्ञान है आप वो लेके लाइटिंग एक्सपोजर एज अ टेक्निकल पर्सन हु कैन ऑपरेट द कैमरा, आप कैमरा वहां पे रख के वो फोटोज ले रहे हो.
And you're waiting for those 10 elements to align.
Yes.
But doesn't lighting become difficult in such moments at times? Because I know otherwise people are so specific about lighting, you know,
Yeah.
photo video teams, including y'all,
Yeah.
and should be because
Yeah.
that's the only time. But when you're going candid, like when you're going into that after party zone,
Yeah.
or when you're going into that barat where you're not getting the right kind of lighting the way you want, and to make sure that you are able to yet get that moment right, is that you have some different cameras that you all use, or is there a different technique that you use that works well for you all?
So basically, there are different techniques for lighting which
Yeah.
everybody uses and everybody has there in their camera bags and they're carrying. But we again in this also, basically our philosophy is to keep it real
Yeah.
and keep it natural. So we try and use these external light only when it is absolutely necessary, or we are trying to create a mood.
Okay.
So during a wedding, the mood is already created.
Yeah.
Because you've already done multiple sessions and meetings and decided on your decor, decided on the color palette and everything. So our job is that when you see these photos later, after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 10 years, it should take you back to that mood.
Moment.
And it should take you back to that vibe.
Yeah.
So if I go there and change the vibe, then it makes no sense with my lighting.
true.
So it should take you, like if the after party was happening and it was supposed to be red, it should be read in my photos also.
Yeah.
Because otherwise after 10 years you will forget
No
that how you
filters.
had imagined it, right?
Yeah.
So we like to keep it as close to natural as
As natural.
possible, unless like it is absolutely necessary to use a light, or it is because we are trying to, like in a portrait or something, we are trying to create a mood, it's fine. But like when whatever you have planned, we don't come with that intention only to change it.
Yeah, but that is our way of looking at
Yeah.
it. Like एक photographer basically एक painter है.
Yeah.
आप अलग अलग पेंटर्स को सेम सीन दे दो, somebody might paint a very nice portrait of someone where you can see only the face.
Yeah.
Another painter might paint the scene. Another painter might actually paint the scene and the painter in the scene painting the scene. So it is various levels of
Layers,
thinking of
yeah.
it. It's just about how you look at it,
yeah.
how you see the world, and you just get it as per that. So there are times when we will use light to overpower the ambient light. That is also possible.
Yeah.
कि अगर आप अपनी जैसे आफ्टर पार्टी में अंधेरा होता है तो वहां पे अगर आपको क्लिक चाहिए तो आप बिना लाइट क्लिक करोगे तो आपको मोशन ब्लर आएगा. दैट इज वन वे ऑफ शूटिंग इट. द अदर एक्सट्रीम ऑपोजिट वे ऑफ शूटिंग इट कि आप अपने फ्लैश यूज करो ताकि आप एम्बियंट लाइट को ओवर पावर कर दो ताकि आपकी जो लाइट है बस वही दिखे. दैट इज अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट वे ऑफ शूटिंग इट. बोथ वेज आर टोटली वैलिड. Both ways completely depend on who you as an artist and a photographer at that point of time, how are you seeing
How
it?
are you seeing that at that point of time?
How many weddings have you all done so far?
Oh, we've never
We've not
counted.
And you didn't come prepared for this one. for sure.
No, I don't know. But we shoot a limited number of weddings
Yeah.
every year,
Yeah.
and this was one of the few basic philosophies or points that we had.
To do limited work.
Yeah, to do limited work, to do one wedding at a time together, and
I
things
agree.
like that.
That's the most important thing, I feel.
Yeah.
I do it that way too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's
Correct.
important for you to be there, you know.
Correct.
The family is talking to you, they're basing their entire trust on you, and you have to be there.
Yeah.
And the depth of the depth of the experience, not the breadth. The depth of the experience is so much more, and you make so many more memories versus having a wider spread. So let's say we work with, let's assume if you're shooting 100 weddings a year,
Yeah.
which is not the case. We shoot around 15 to 20 weddings in a year. But if we shoot 100 weddings in a year, our memory is 100 weddings. If you're shooting 15, 20 weddings in a year, in each wedding, every moment, because we are there, we remember every moment. So we are making the same amount of memories, but we are just making more memories per wedding, which is why we've never counted it. For us, it's just that couple and those
And
families
being
at that
involved in
point.
that.
Absolutely.
You all have done some celebrity weddings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some, as in I know
Yeah,
quite
we
a
are
few.
Fortunate.
But which was your favorite and
Which
why?
is your favorite?
So everyone was memorable, but I think the closest to my heart was Shibani and Farhan.
Mine
You know
too.
what? I kind of guessed that would probably, because that wedding looked beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
It
you.
was.
And why was it your favorite?
So see, a wedding is a bubble,
Yeah.
a bubble of love and emotion.
Yeah.
Now the smallest bubble is between the couple. Then that bubble gets a little larger, and then
With the
the
family.
immediate family comes in. Then it gets little larger, and friends
Friends
come in.
and-
Then it gets larger, and extended friends come in. Then guests come
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Now, because that wedding was so intimate, everyone was in the same bubble. I'm getting
wow.
goosebumps as I'm speaking about it. And plus, we are huge fans of them. So,
And the pictures came out so beautiful.
thank you.
Beautiful.
was
And I
beautiful.
think they
We were all
even did
feeling
a ceremony which was taking vows, and I think
Yeah,
there was
they
Yeah,
made
yeah.
their own ceremony.
It was
How
lovely.
lovely.
Which was also great. But so basically, Sam and I are people who are shooting these and shooting lesser number of weddings because we want to have fun, because we already had jobs. So it is not from the point of view of, oh, now we can start making money or something that we went into
Yeah.
this. We went into this because we loved it and we want to keep the love alive. So
Yeah.
if that's why first we shoot lesser number of weddings and shoot on our own, like we are personally there because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we do, what makes us happy is meeting new people. And Sam always says this is one of the few professions, and it's true for you also, where you interact with people of different age groups.
I agree.
Because otherwise it's your friends or the people of a elder age group you would know as your parents or your parents' friends.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
here we are interacting with different age groups all the time. So you learn so much of from different people. You observe them. You observe how they conduct
And we get
themselves.
to travel to places.
You
and-
get to travel to places, different experiences, different cultures. So it is extremely exciting
Yeah,
for us.
yeah.
And then when you get an opportunity to be in the space with the people who you've looked up to, who have been your heroes, or you've heard their interviews, and then you get to be in that space and observe them in person, it's extremely like exciting.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege, and there's just gratitude
So what
for
was
it.
what was your favorite moment of Farhan and Shivani's wedding?
So many. So many, but my favorite instead of a moment, I'll tell you my favorite thing was the vibe.
Yeah.
And because the vibe was such, because they were just being themselves, and that's what I loved. Like, even when there are people in the public space, but the way they were just being
Yeah.
themselves throughout, and it was just so lovely to see that.
There was this one video that I remember went viral a little later, where Ritik was dancing
Yes.
to the Suraj Ki
Yeah.
Baahon Mein with Farhan. So sweet that whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
was.
it was Senorita.
Oh, Senorita, sorry.
Yes,
yeah.
I can still picture where it happened and where I was standing and I witnessed it. Yes, it's super exciting. Like, when we also...
You feel you're seeing a scene out of a movie,
Yeah.
like live,
Yeah,
candid.
and what is exciting for me is that when we are part of these, we go to a club to dance, or we are at a wedding, we are waiting for our favorite songs to play,
Yeah.
and when that DJ plays our song, we get so excited. So for them, when someone plays their song, they get excited, which is such a real, like, it's so real
Yeah,
that even
yeah.
they are excited about their
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
So I love
Yeah, and
that
you're
feeling.
actually watching like the source of it. The,
Yeah.
the actor who you
Absolutely.
watched on screen
Yeah.
performing on that song in a regular setting. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
You remember, guys, there was a time जब weddings होती थी और फोटोग्राफर वीडियोग्राफर एकदम स्टेज के आगे खड़े होते थे और फिर वो एक वायर घूमती रहती थी लंबी सी with a halogen light behind the videographer. I mean, those were the times when I was a kid, and I have, those are the memories of the video photography. And then we used to get those tapes, and we used to
Cassettes, yeah.
see those cassettes and see the whole wedding for 3 hours. And technology has changed drastically. And Sam, I know you just covered a while back about how with that, the films to today, it's digital.
Yes.
But what else is really happening in this whole technology space, which is interesting, that is informative, that you can tell us? And we'd love to know a fact about technology in photo video, world.
Interesting. I think you can look at it in terms of there is a change in the hardware aspect of things and there is a change in the software aspect of things. And both these things are impacting how wedding photographers are choosing these things to then therefore work. So from a hardware aspect, what is happening is cameras are becoming smaller. There is also innovation happening on hardware where now you have 360-degree cameras. Lights are becoming smaller, less intrusive, more powerful. So from a hardware perspective, what is changing is you're able to then pick and choose what you want based on what you want your approach to be. So if I'm a photographer or videographer who thinks technology forward and innovation forward, I can use 360-degree cameras or I can use something like
And
that.
isn't that what everybody is doing now? They are. Most of them are.
A lot of people are,
Yeah.
and it's very exciting to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
The other thing that is also happening is that, strangely, the other direction is also fairly popular now. Where
The
where
old
one can
fashioned is
yes.
coming back.
Yes, so I've started shooting a little bit with analog cameras
Oh,
because
wow.
now the thing with technology though is the way it is going, you can never have enough of it.
That's true.
We are sitting here right now. We can order food from any of our favorite restaurants in India, and an app can deliver it to us in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
There is no end to what one can eventually get, but it all depends on how you look at the
Yeah,
world again.
yeah.
I think you would like to.
Yeah,
you
like
would have a beautiful
for me,
take on it.
I mean, I totally agree that when technology is there is innovation, you can use it. You should use it to your advantage, and it just has to bring your vision alive.
Yeah.
So whatever you feel makes sense, you pick those things in software or in hardware to make your vision come to life. But I also personally like what Sam was doing. So basically, he picked up an old film camera from somewhere we were traveling, and then he started doing street photography with that. And then I pushed approached him that let's just do it in a wedding space, and we had we were nervous because again there are only 36 photos and weddings are very dynamic, anything can happen, the lighting is so different in different areas and everything. But he tried and it's lovely.
So is
And
that a new introduction
I mean,
as an offering?
I take
Almost.
it along sometimes, but again, I have to huge props to our team
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we work with a team of people, and I'm only able to experiment like this because our team is so strong.
and also the brides and grooms, because like there are people who understand this philosophy and they're okay that if something is missed or something is blurry or something like that happens, but they're excited to see the photos from an analog camera. And yeah, if there is a wedding like that, then Sam explores there.
Yeah, so
for
coming
sure.
back to the technology bit, people are using it in very interesting ways now. In fact, it's going even one step further with devices being launched where you can actually put yourself
Yeah.
in an environment which does not exist. I am interested to see how that reflects in weddings.
Yeah.
So I don't know what will happen, but the only time when I would use a technology is when I've tested it enough in my own life and I'm completely comfortable
Convinced
that
and
I'm able to get the moment irrespective of the technology that I use. And
Yeah.
when I picked up the analog camera, it limits you because it is not giving you everything that a digital camera gives you. That for me was a huge lesson of incorporating that learning in my life as well. That it's okay to not have everything,
I love
Some
that,
emptiness
Sam.
in life is amazing. It's fine. Imperfections are great. I love
That's
that. Yeah.
I really love that, And imperfections are great,
Yeah.
which unfortunately in our wedding world, it's becoming so choreographed. It's becoming so, everybody wants it so perfect. Everybody wants it like an award function. Ki kyun? Like, just enjoy the journey. The
Yeah.
anxiousness of trying to make this perfect day, the anxiousness that they start from way before the wedding, it's not needed. Just have fun. I mean, I remember that one time where we, with one of our couples, we decided to cook and go to their family home, and we had this beautiful evening. I mean, those moments are very few, and it's
Yeah.
only very few people in our industry who are really doing that
Correct.
effort. That we got together. That moment I feel has stayed so much with me as much as the wedding.
Can we say the story
Yeah,
of that
of
moment?
course,
it's,
we
it's one
should.
of our most memorable stories.
Yeah, we must
So
actually.
the couple that you are talking about is of course Anisa and Arman.
Yes.
And we had all of us had the opportunity to just hang out with them before the wedding.
At their
And we went to the iconic family home, which is where I remember Arman telling us that Mr. Raj Kapoor used to sit on that swing in
Yes.
the evenings, and
Yes.
we spent time there. It
On
was,
the famous white
Yes,
jhula in
yes.
their
made a
courtyard.
couple of pictures. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was, and
it was a
ve-
fun evening, and
Yes.
then after that we went to your place, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. So when it's like something where it's part of their story, and then you are just being, you are also attaching yourself there, and you are bringing some moments out in terms of frames and photos from that story. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It feels very natural.
It's I think a wedding is also what happens is because it is such a momentous occasion in your life, you want to make sure that everything is
Perfect.
going perfect, right?
Yeah.
So you hire a planner, you'll hire a choreographer, you'll hire a photographer, hire a catering team, and you just as a family and a couple who are now you should, once you prepare everything, then you should just let life take over, because
I agree.
that is so the preparation is not, because everybody has their own way of doing different tasks. Like for example, if I have to pick up one book from there and put it there, I will do it in a different way, Ekta will do it in a different way, you'll do it in a different way. That's who we are as people.
Yeah.
But as long as that is done, then let
No,
let
and
life take over.
I always tell, give us your vision,
Yeah,
tell us what you want,
correct.
leave it to the
to us,
experts.
yeah.
You've hired experts.
And the
Yes.
people who have the best experience in their own weddings, they do that.
Yeah.
They
do
go
that.
with the flow.
They go with the flow. They enjoy every moment.
Enjoying every moment से मेरे को एक बात समझ नहीं आती, ये same day edits. I mean, what do you all think? Give a very candid opinion. I mean, of course, people who want it, but what's your take?
I think that both fulfill their purposes. A same day edit is one where let's say that it's more actually relevant for larger weddings, I would say,
Huh.
because you're having 300 people, 400 people at a wedding. But if you do a same day edit, we'll also do a edit after that as well, because
Correct.
what that allows us to do, I'm anyway a strong believer in just let your memories marinate for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, just absorb everything, let it get stored in your subconscious, and then when the photos and films come, it is
Yeah.
going to trigger those memories and those
I
emotions
agree.
again, because it will appeal to your subconscious. Same day edits are more of a logistical speciality more than anything else. Of course, you do end up making something, you will always end up making something which emotionally connects with the audience.
Yes.
But there what happens is that then you have to orient the team to be able to deliver that. So that is a logistical
You have to
arm
plan
gets
for it.
added to
And
it.
you
So-
have to have an additional team to manage.
And the impact should be such that that when they see it, a lot of people get to see themselves,
Yes.
and they get to see the highlight moments. So it's more from that point of view.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Eventually, it's somebody's big day, whatever
Yeah,
they want.
yeah.
How do Sam and Ekta divide their work? Like, I've seen y'all on site, y'all are both shooting.
Yes.
But what's the kind of plan that goes in when you get a wedding?
Hmm.
That what's exactly that Ekta you do or what Sam does?
Hmm.
And do couples really want, like, oh, they have the comfort of, the bride saying that let a female photographer shoot me, or gone are the days, and, or it's the other way around, like Sam shoots the brides and you get to shoot the grooms. How is
The
it?
Bharat. So I'll start with this, with like taking a step back. In life, for the two of us, Sam is the person with a vision. So for our life and for this, the business part of it, Sam decides what the vision is, what the belief is, what the value system is, how we are going to grow, what we are going to do, what we are going to shoot. So he has many, many, many thoughts, because he reads a lot. He's very knowledgeable, and I trust his thoughts totally. So he gives us the vision, and once he has the vision, then I can execute it. So this is how we generally lead our lives.
Wow,
So,
that's such a great understanding you all have already established. You're the visionary, I'm following, main kar lungi.
yeah, like, and it's so simple, no, because
I
I
agree.
really can't think
I
of these
agree.
ideas anyway. So whoever is good at whatever, let's just, instead of putting ourselves into difficult
Yeah,
spots, let's
yeah.
just do with whoever's good at what. And then I get into the execution part of it. So when it comes to the business aspect of it, Sam is the visionary, and he decides the basic direction of what we are doing and where we are heading to. And then we make, like how everybody makes goals for every year and what we want to achieve, even personally or professionally. And I handle more of the logistics. So for me, this is very interesting. Sam is the artist and I'm the manager.
Oh. So who's the boss? Who's the boss?
She's the boss, but
Boss
I'm
the
a but
manager.
she's the boss, but I'm a majority shareholder in the company. So
If I don't have the artist, I'm the boss of no one. So I need the artist.
Yeah.
and the way I would give the same answer, which
Yeah.
probably will help you understand why we are so
Yeah.
different from each other. Both of us individually have our strengths, but when we come together, there is somehow we fit together as two pieces of a jigsaw, which is quite interesting. So an analogy that I would give is, let's say both of us are lost on an island, and I see something on the distance, and I say, Ekta, you know what? We should go there. And then she's the one who makes that possible. Now, without each other, we are useless, because then I'm just sitting in one place saying, वहाँ जाना चाहिए, but कुछ किया ही नहीं तो कहाँ पे कैसे पहुँचोगे आप? And if she, it just completely depends on who we just at our core are as people.
Lovely.
And we've come to that realization that what she can do, I cannot do. What I can do, she cannot do. In some cases, in most cases, our skills are quite complementary and overlapping. So then it's a continuous process of calibration and recalibration based on what we pick up in
You
our
know how I'm going to market Sam and Ekta in my next few weddings? It's going to be quite a fun segment. Huh? What I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, ये couple की understanding और the way they lead life is so beautiful कि तुम इनसे शादी शूट करवाओगे ना, तुम्हारे कप इतनी अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी all your life.
That's
No,
interesting.
seriously,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
That's
in
serious.
humor. But I'm quite an admirer of the fact that as a young couple, y'all are so clear, and I think most of the young couples are clear.
Yeah.
That he's the visionary, I'm the doer. This is his strength, this is my strength, and this is how we operate. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
so
you.
both are the boss.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, if you
different
say
ways.
so, but not really.
Different ways. Yeah. No, but that's amazing, and that's probably Aarti why I think that's you would identify with that. That's probably why all of us end up with very deep relationships with our
Yes.
couples
Yes.
because we are in it in beyond just the task of it.
Yes.
All our heart and soul is in that, and most of the people in the wedding industry, they do want to do that kind of work.
I
So-
always think we are a different tribe. I mean, like for you guys, for photo video teams, there's a certain culture that you all, of course, art and skill is the most important thing in your space. In our space as planners, compassion, flexibility, being able to patiently deal with their
Yeah.
emotions, these are very important
Yes.
traits to have.
Of course.
I mean, you can't treat it just like a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking of that, Sam, अगर कभी photography छोड़नी है, Sam can to for sure survive by doing
Yeah,
many
yeah.
things.
Yes, yes.
He can sing, he can paint and sketch, great storytelling, and that's one more first of sorts that I saw with y'all is how every album of a wedding that is created has story. And I love the way you on your Instagram, when you put each picture, you actually are describing that moment in words and what was happening there. So how do you get the time and how do you remember all of these weddings when you do to sit back? That whole process, you do it personally, and how long does it take?
Okay. So it's basically Instagram again right now is a channel. The complete inspiration for that comes from what I like to do in my life. I like visiting museums. Now, when I visit museums and I see a painting and I see a picture, I stare at it. I that connects with me. I look at it for quite a while, and then I want to read about it. And it goes for any art form. Sometimes I watch a great movie and I go so much into a rabbit hole about reading about that movie because I want to know how it was made, any trivia related to the movie and everything. So the way we treat our Instagram and our showcasing of our work is almost like it is an art gallery.
Yeah.
You come here and there is some art that you can see and you can also read about it. It purely comes from that. And it's a great question though. How we remember all of this is purely because both of us are
So
there.
you'll discuss, you'll sit and discuss.
No, actually, Sam is the person who makes these for Instagram. Whatever is happening, Sam decides, and Sam is writing because he writes really well. In
Yeah.
fact, I am also looking forward to his next post. Like a lot of people write to us, and I keep replying to them saying, "Please tell Sam to write more, please tell him," because I also want to read what he's going to write next. Just the memory of what happened that day, we remember, or he remembers, is because we were there.
Yeah.
And we experienced it with them. So if like there was some friend who gave us a prize, or like someone became emotional in a moment, we were also becoming emotional that time. So we have already felt it in our
Yeah.
hearts. So it's easy to remember. Like you cannot forget it
Yes,
actually.
yes.
In fact, these are the small, not so choreographed moments that we find very interesting in a wedding, and we want to tell the story of.
Yes.
And the whole how to tell it and everything is Sam. So that he can only
No,
answer
but you
how
very
he writes
beautifully
it.
put it,
Thank
Sam.
you. Thank you.
But it's quite time consuming, I'm sure.
It is. It is
Yes.
quite time consuming because
Very.
it is not as easy as just writing something and putting it up. You have to do it with care.
Yeah.
It's again my favorite analogy is of chefs who take care. They're continuously correcting their recipe. They are tasting it before it goes out. So I'll have a thought. I'll write it. Then I'll put a paragraph or two on it. Then I'll leave it for some time. Then I come back to it. Then I'll read it again. Is it connecting? So it is a skill. It requires a lot of reading and it requires a lot of writing. And also what happens is what people usually see is just what is showcased. There is so much of that of practice that happens
Yeah.
below the surface, which will never be visible. So
Yeah.
I was listening to this interview by somebody just the other day, and they had a beautiful thing to say. They said that what people see, because a lot of our inspiration for us comes from people who we see on screen, artists, and what we are seeing is the final output of it. I'm listening to a beautiful song and I'm listening to that person who's made that song and they're performing it in a concert and I'm thinking that, wow, what a life. you know, that guy is getting to sing in this particular arena with so many people, but you've not seen the struggle that person has taken to reach there. So it does take a lot of work.
That's the purpose of
Yeah.
this podcast, Sam. Really. You know, the amount of work, the working of the industry is something we wanted people to hear. You know, we wanted the experts to come and talk about how they actually, and this will hone the skills of the newcomers, encourage them, give them more food for thought. It will, couples will relate to whoever they associate with or have a part of their wedding team in a much better way.
Yeah, it's a
You know?
lovely thought. And
Yeah, that
Love what
was the
you're
whole
doing.
purpose of doing this, and I'm glad we're kind of, with every episode we're kind of getting there. What's next for Sam and Ekta?
Go ahead.
no, you say what's next.
What
You are the visionary, you have to
international?
say.
Where are y'all exhibiting next? First, tell me that, because I do remember y'all did exhibit at a show in Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's next now?
So yeah, so the Italy show was, there's this town in Italy called Cortona, which has a photo festival, and it's one of the oldest photo festivals in Italy. And one fine day I get a call saying that I'm the curator of this photo festival, and we are looking for a specific kind of photography, and we are choosing photographers from around the world. So would you be interested? I initially thought it was a prank call. So I said, yeah, you send me an email, you know. I didn't know who this person was. It was a guy called Paolo Woods, and he was curating one part of that festival, which is called I Do. So the exhibition is called I Do.
I do.
I Do.
And it's
a
purely
wedding.
on weddings.
Yes.
No,
so it was
the festival is
the festival
huge.
was across. So the festival had photographs from across categories, across
Photojournalistics,
genres.
But is it
documentary,
wedding
war
related? That's why
photographers.
I do.
Within this, there was a gallery
Segment.
called
I Do.
And I Do has around 7 or 8 photographers from around the world.
Yeah.
Now that exhibition happened in Cortona. The same exhibition has now traveled to Germany, in Hamburg. So
wow.
there's this little beautiful museum in Hamburg where it's being exhibited. It started on April 20th, 2024. It will be exhibited for a year till April 20th, 2025. And we are going to go there and see our pictures. Some of the ones that are behind us, some of them are showcased there. So we are going to do
Lovely.
that in our travels. In our life, I think the important things for us in our life is we like to meet interesting people, and we like to grow by learning from people. Now, whatever fulfills those needs in our life is what we end up doing. So right now it is wedding photography. Maybe you want to take this forward.
Let's see.
There's something happening.
We have a few thoughts, but let's see.
Okay.
Nothing is
In
finalized.
very
Yeah,
nascent stage.
this year what we've decided is that the only time, and our greatest joy in life has come when we've taken a year where it has been a little empty. And I genuinely believe that in life, when you create a little bit of emptiness,
You
you don't
do.
know what will come and fill it.
I totally agree with you.
That's the plan. So the plan is now to have emptiness in life. I don't know what will come and fill
No, that's a very interesting one, because that's what I did. Exactly what I did last year. I took it easy. I mean, you know, I was doing very limited work. I took
Correct.
it easy. But the idea was to try and think what next. And, you know, that's when a lot of these things came into picture.
Yeah.
The podcast and a few other initiatives that I've started in the wedding space itself, but not necessarily just the planning bit.
Correct,
You know,
correct,
because
correct.
you got to take a step back.
Yeah.
And you know, the space that we are in, if we continue to do the way we continue to do what we do, you're just running from one project to another. You
Yeah.
know, you have no bandwidth to think that what are you going to be doing next.
Yeah. Or just reflect and understand how
I
we can
agree.
even do this better.
Yeah.
It needs some space and time.
We end this episode with this little fun thing that we do. Is called the rapid fire.
I love rapid fire.
Yeah, we kind of copied it from a very known show.
Yeah, Ekta has
Love that
PhDs in
also.
rapid fire.
Yeah.
But it's fun. So I like to do this with all our guests. So we have about almost 9 questions for y'all. Y'all can decide whoever's taking each of these. So I'll start with Ekta.
Okay.
Okay. So top location for wedding portraits: beach, forest, or cityscapes?
Forest.
The ideal time of day for outdoor wedding photography: sunrise or sunset?
Ooh, sunrise.
Yeah? What's the difference?
I think there's something very beautiful about watching the sunrise. It's quiet, lots happens, and it's just, I think someone getting married at sunrise is also
Very
very
rarely, but
it's,
yeah.
yeah, but it's also, I mean, I would love to shoot a sunrise wedding. Just imagine you're starting a new life
I
and a new day is beginning.
know.
I would love to shoot sunrise.
That gives an idea for somebody listening. Kar lo yaar.
Yeah.
And a planner.
If you could only shoot weddings in one season for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Winters.
Winters,
Yeah. Though I hate winters, but like for weddings, it just goes with the vibe.
What's your go-to pose for couples who are camera shy? Like, what is it that you recommend to them?
Shake it off.
Yeah, shake it off.
I start with that. Just shake it off so that there is no, and by that I also mean mentally, because like everybody has seen these photos on Instagram and everybody has that.
Like,
and
I
they're
very often
just
don't know
shake
what
it
to do
off.
with my hands in photographs. You
So
know?
very often what we do is we get them into a pose which we know the pose itself is not working, but the flow of the moment of them getting into the pose and then getting out of it, you
That
find
is
the
what you
best pictures.
capture.
That's a good tip for photographers. Somebody taught that to me as well.
Shoot through the moment.
Shoot through the moment. You'll get something interesting.
Amazing. Favorite photography accessory that you can't live without on a wedding day?
Maybe a camera belt, because it's very difficult to carry. It's a very boring answer.
And my pockets in my
Yeah,
outfits.
like dresses with a lot of pockets.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
What's the strangest prop a couple has ever asked you to get at the photo booth?
The most interesting entity beyond the couple
Oh,
that
yeah,
we've
the
shot in a
bathtub.
wedding is not the butter.
No?
I was saying a dog.
Oh, acha.
We just love dogs. When couples
Yeah.
get a dog in their photograph, it's just a favorite.
But also the bathtub.
Yeah, there is a bathtub story. Yeah.
One photography trend you predict will be big in the coming years?
My prediction, because we are going to follow our life on this, is that anything that's timeless and not trending.
And Sam,
Is going
you
to
have an
last.
answer for that?
I think what will happen is now we are getting into the age of AI, right? So you can actually give a text prompt and get an image thrown. So now when you have everything, when you can get all the possible perfection
Yeah.
in an image or film.
Yeah.
I think what people will start appreciating is the imperfection in it.
Yeah.
So I genuinely feel that analog photography will be
I felt
will
as
be
much
appreciated
you
a
were
lot
going to say
more.
that. The most rewarding part of being a wedding photographer, and I want both of y'all to answer this.
I just that you can experience important moments in different people's lives from a very up close and personal, and you can also go through that feeling again and again and again. I think that makes me still do this.
I think for me it is a profession that allows you to come to a point where you have to leave your ego behind, because wedding photography, for the lack of a better understanding of the term in India, has always been perceived in a certain way.
Yeah.
So you may be the biggest photographer in the world, but when you're at a wedding and somebody taps you and says, "Bhaiya, photo le lo," you have to just completely keep your ego aside and understand that, somebody's dressed well. All they want is a beautiful picture of them at a
How
wedding.
lovely is that?
That's it. That for me is the biggest lesson I've learned.
Super. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much. This is so much fun. I love rapid fire.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been an most amazing conversation I've had with you guys. All the very best with whatever your future initiatives and whatever y'all are planning to do. I have no doubts whatever you come up with, it's going to be great. And have a great travel. Enjoy yourself. I wish I could take a trip to Hamburg to see your exhibition.
Come along.
that'd be
But come along. Yeah, that's a good one. But thank you so much. With
Thank
this,
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
thank
for
you,
having us.
Ekta, and
I
thank
just
you,
want to give a
Sam.
shout out to all the people that we've worked with as well. So people just know us as Sam and Ekta, but we have a very strong team. Every single person we've worked with in our life has been responsible for us being here and being able to speak to you. So they know who they are. So I just want to say thank you to all
That's
of them.
really
Thank you.
sweet, Sam. I mean, we know we all have these amazing teams. Like I
Yeah.
say, there's so many unsung heroes who are not fronting, are not
Yes.
facing the clients, but we have an army working behind us,
Yes, correct.
And good, you're acknowledging them, and that's really sweet of you.
Thank you.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much,
pleasure.
guys.
It was a
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
With this, we sign off with this one. It's a wrap. Thank you so much. We've just wrapped a very, very interesting episode, and I hope you all like it. If you like it, please do like it, share it, and comment what you'd like to hear in future episodes. And do not forget to subscribe to the Wedding Podcast.